Hi Yins, how are you doing today? I hope you're all doing well. It's been about 2 weeks since I checked in with all of you, and thanks to my mom and brother, they checked in with us then. But today, I thought I'd come on and show you what I've been working on. So it's, nothing in my life has really changed much in the last couple weeks. I'm still working from home because school buildings are still closed in New Jersey, as they will be at least through the middle of May, and then they're going to reevaluate. So up until then, I'm still working from home. So I'm sitting here in my home office today as I check in with all of you and wanted to just say hi. So don't forget, if you are not following me out on Instagram, my Instagram is at ginger.gerald.stitcher. And as always, I link my email below if you have any questions specific for me. I have been kind of bad at responding to comments on my videos recently, just because I haven't really been doing a lot technologically. Like since I'm at home working on the computer, I haven't really been doing a lot on my phone or my computer other than what I absolutely have to, because it gets kind of exhausting being on the computer all day, every day. Other than that, I haven't really been watching any FlossTube. I haven't been in the mood to watch anything like that. I've been pretty much binge watching TV shows on Netflix and the other subscription apps and doing my thing. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into my stitching and knitting updates for the week, for 2 weeks. So first off, 2 weeks ago, I said I was going to be starting a new sweater, and I did start that sweater. And then as I started getting into the color portion of the color work portion of the intarsia, I realized that the colors that I chose do not really bode well for the design. It was hard to see the green mixed in with the gray. So if you don't know what I'm talking about because you didn't see last episode, go back and check that out. I did talk about it. So basically I pulled that back out and I bought new yarn, and I'm waiting for it to be delivered. I think it's on a little bit of a delay due to some stocking. So with that, I had to put my sweater on hold, but I did decide to start a few other new things. And first off, I also said I started a pair of socks using some leftover Patton's Croy that I had. I'm just trying to use up what I have left over laying around so I can get rid of those small patches of yarn and focus on the full cakes of yarn that I have. So what I did was I went ahead and knitted up a pair of Rose City rollers in this pink brown color that is leftover yarn. So that leftover yarn is all used up, because in 1 week I did the entire pair of socks. They don't match as far as stripes are concerned. They do match color wise, but other than that, everything is. And I actually did not have enough yarn to go ahead and do the heel on the second pair, so I just used some of a solid color Patton's Croy that pretty much matches and does well with this. So that is one pair of socks I knit in a week. So that pair is completely done. And I also had started a pair of short socks for myself, and I finished in that first week during spring break, because 2 weeks ago was spring break for us, so I didn't have to work at all. So I had a lot of time for crafting and video games. So I went ahead and finished the first sock of that color. This is also a Patton's Croy that I picked up at Joann Fabrics, and this pair is for myself. So there is sock number 1, and here I've been working on it this week is sock number 2 of the patterns of that color. Again, because of the way that my balls work, my balls of yarn, they are not going to be an exact match, but that's all right because it's still the same yarn. And I am all ready to go ahead and put in the toe. So I have that all set up. I will probably work on that later today. And then I have just the toe and the heel, and that will be a second pair of socks completely knitted up and ready to go. I have had some questions as far as my sock patterns that I use. So basically I use what's in my head from just looking at different sock patterns for the basic socks. I use Louise Patterson's super simple sock pattern that you can find on Ravelry for the basic learning how to knit socks. That's how I learned how to knit socks with Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts. And then I've incorporated, instead of using the heel that she has in her pattern, I use the Afterthought heel that you can find in many different sock patterns available. So I use the Afterthought heel, and I use a rounded sock toe. So instead of the square sock toe, the squared off sock toe, I use a rounded toe because I like the look of that much better, and it fits better. So that is my preferred method of knitting socks. If you are still interested in some tutorials, I'd be happy to do a set of tutorials. Just let me know in the comments below or email me, and I will be sure to incorporate some videos as far as how I personally knit my socks. Basic socks. I'm saying basic socks because I've been on a sock knitting kick lately, and in the last week I have started 3 socks. So this is number 1, sock number 1 that I started. That one is almost done. Then I went ahead and started I was kind of tired of just doing basic socks. So I wanted to knit something out of the book I got for Christmas from my brother called Knit Socks. This is Knit Socks by Betsy Lee McCarthy. And I am doing the sock called Classy Slip Up. So that is what it looks like. So it's the Classy Slip Up sock from the Knit Socks book. I am doing this in a sock yarn that I got from Webb's. It's their Valley Yarns brand, and this is in the Merlot. So it's the Huntington, I believe it's a Huntington sock yarn that they have on their website. And this is in Merlot, and that is the first leg of the sock, of the first sock. That is the leg of the first sock. I'm now ready to go ahead and put it in the heel. I'm probably gonna follow the pattern exactly as it's written, so that means that I'm gonna have to do the heel that I don't prefer to do, but that's all right because I just want to get a feel for this different type of pattern. I really like this. It's a 4-row repeat, which was super easy to stitch. I memorized it pretty much instantly, and then I went ahead and just knit up the leg of the sock. So that is sock number 1 that I'm working on. There is the color Merlot of the sock yarn. The other thing I did, not this Friday, but the Friday of spring break, I went ahead and caked up all of the yarn that I have in skeins or hanks. So that took me all day because some of my yarn was pretty knotted up as I was caking it up. So I have all of my yarn ready to go, so I can just go ahead and put it right onto some needles and start knitting with. This is my bag that I got from Knit's Best Thing on Etsy. Love these bags. I have another one that I got as a gift that I'm going to be showing you here shortly, actually next, because that is my other sock yarn that I got, or that's my other sock that I started. And this is a yarn, I'm just doing a basic sock because of the way that it is modeled. And this is a yarn that I got for my birthday last year from my brother. I didn't grab the label, but next time I show it, I will definitely do that. It's a yarn, yeah, I got from my brother. It's a basic sock yarn. And instead of doing it on the zeros that I typically do, I went ahead and got a pair of Hiya Sharps because I wanted to try the Hiya Sharps. And there it is. It's a Hiya Sharp needle. US 1. So instead of doing it on the zeros that I typically do for myself, I am doing this pair on a 1, and there is what the sock looks like so far. So a much different, more pulling effect with the colors, but I'm really enjoying this. I already have the heel in ready to go. Well, the heel scrap yarn for the afterthought heel. And I'm just going round and round and round on this sock yarn. On this sock. So this is one that I'm doing just occasionally. This is already 1 week's worth of knitting. I cast on both of these socks in the same day. So 1.5 socks almost done in the last week. But because I'm doing a bunch of different projects, that's why it's kind of like I don't have as quick of progress on getting these socks done. But that's all right. I'm in no hurry because most likely I won't be wearing these socks until fall. And the last knitting part that I have worked on, the last knitting project, since I wasn't able to work on my sweater, this is my bag from Evertote, Caroline. And I started a scarf that I've had the yarn for almost a year now. And this is the Dentado scarf by Manos del Uruguay. So that is this is a free pattern on their website, Manos del Uruguay. And it's called the Dentado scarf. I am doing this in two different colors of Holst-Garn Coast. So this is the cotton wool blend. So I'm doing this in, this is called Lead. And Red Currant. So there is the Lead and the Red Currant. That's what the colors are. Again, it's a super easy knit pattern, but it's super easy to knit, but it creates a nice textured look as you knit it up. I gotta fix and there is my progress so far. This is roughly 1 week's worth of progress. So there we go. Really liking, I love the look of this scarf. It has a nice textured pattern to it. And it's, again, like I said, super easy to knit up. So just going with the pattern, and I have, this marks 10 inches. So I have to go 35 inches with the main color of gray, and then I switch over to the other color. So there we go. That is all the knitting I've been doing. Let me just put this away so it's organized. So like I said, I've primarily been knitting. I have done a little bit of stitching, not a whole lot of stitching. I haven't really been in the stitchy mood, but I have been stitching every other day, a little bit each day or every other day, depending upon my mood. So you knew I was working on, where is my picture? Here it is, London by Thea Governor. And I was working on the Royal Albert Hall here. I believe that's what that one is. And I got done everything on those pages that I wanted to get done. So I took it off the Q-snap so I could use the Q-snap for something else. And here is what it looks like so far. So as you can see, I completed all of that. portion of the gate. There's still a little bit left on the next page. And I completed everything on these 2 pages of the haul here. So next I will probably be moving over and finish this gate because it was a pain to stitch, and then work my way up into Westminster Abbey. So that is what it looks like. So I'm still working over here. I have this portion left to stitch, and then I have Westminster Abbey here in the back to work on. Then I will be moving over and finishing up the left-hand side, which is the Elizabeth Tower and the London Bridge and the jail. What's it called? The tower. Right here. Tower of London. Tower of London, London Bridge, and Big Ben or Elizabeth Tower, whatever you want to call it. So that's what I'll be working on last. So next off will be this section over here to finish off this side of the page, or this side of the pattern. So there it is. Super exciting. So I'm happy that is done, and I went ahead and put it away for now because I wanted to work on something else. I thought I was going to be working on Amsterdam, the new project that I started a month or so ago, a little over a month ago. I don't know how long it's been now because I've been working on London so long. However, when I opened up my projects, my ottoman that has all my projects in it, I saw there we go. I saw Lady of the Flag, and I was like, oh, I'm so close to finishing the stitching on Lady of the Flag. So I decided to put her back on the Q-snaps and start her back up. So I haven't done a whole lot on her. I did start by putting in the remaining portion of the flagpole, or at least the dark gray on the flagpole, and the black. I did the same color over here. So those 2 colors are completely done. And now I'm working on color completing the flag. So I've started with the light 2 shades here to finish up to the top of the flagpole. And now I'm adding in the first color of blue. So there is where she is at so far. So I have the rest of the flag to finish, and I have the torch, and then I have all the beading. I've never beaded before, so I'm kind of excited to get to that, but at the same time, it's like, Rrr. But that is my stitching. So I've done this in, I think, 2 nights, what I've shown here so far, and I'll probably work on her a little bit more tonight or tomorrow. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm going with what feels right now. And right now, what feels right is a whole lot of knitting and not a whole lot of stitching, but I'm still doing my stitching occasionally. Or if I get tired of knitting because I've been doing so much knitting, I will switch to stitching. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna keep Lady of the Flag on the stand until at least the stitching portion is all done, which shouldn't take me all that long, but I'm not gonna like jinx myself. And then after that, I don't know what I'm gonna work on. I'll just go with the flow. So I hope you are all doing well. I hope you are enjoying your crafting and crafting time, stitching, knitting, whatever you do that is relaxing and stress relieving. And until next time, as always, don't forget to always be creative.